What's up everyone, it's Hunter, and I'm back with another video. I know it's been like 2 weeks since I posted, but I've been a little sick, really fatigued, and really I just wanted to reassess how I've been approaching med school. So check out the rest of the video to see how I'm studying this week, as we've got an exam on Monday that will conclude this video. Just got out of anatomy lab, found out that Nick parked next to me, so I'm gonna go put this on his windshield. It's now Wednesday morning. As I said, I'm trying to reassess how I'm approaching med school, because on all of my last 3 exams, I've scored like the exact same thing. Like I'm just shy of an A, and I know that I can attain an A. It's just a matter of solving my procrastination and actually putting as much time as I should be into medical school. So to solve that, I've been continuing to wake up early. Alarm is set for 4:47 every morning, and I always get up and do a session of Anki, and then typically I leave 2 of the lectures from the previous day for the morning. So I do a session of Anki, get through about 200 cards in that 25 minutes, and then watch a lecture. And then by then it's time to get the dogs up. Marin's getting up, going to a workout. So I'm just like kind of getting into the groove of the morning. So then I'll do another session while Marin is at Orange Theory working out, and she's about to get home. And this is usually a time when I'm not productive at all. Sometimes I end up taking a nap with Mav on the couch. I just browse random websites, things like that. So instead of being unproductive during that time, I'm gonna use that time to get my workout in and kind of break up the morning session of studying. Because at this point, I've already studied for 2 hours. So a good study break is a workout, get the blood flowing, and then we can get back to it after the workout. Workouts these days are really quick. We got 36 minutes, 500 calories. So now we're gonna go shower up and get back to studying. All right, we are back to work. We've got a post-workout smoothie going here, and then I am watching a lecture. And while I watch lectures, I like to write a couple practice questions. It helps me focus. I'm finding that subjects like anatomy that I really enjoy, I can just go and grind out anatomy for hours on end, even though I don't need to because I already know it really well. But when it comes to subjects like biochemistry and histology, things that I don't find as interesting, it's really hard for me to focus. So by forcing myself to write practice questions, it helps me focus on the lecture that's going on. And I've been finding that in medical school, I do find it really hard to just go hours on end studying, because I've never had to do it before. And med school is a whole new beast for me that I've never experienced anything like this before. There's just so much content that if you're not studying for hours a day, you're gonna fall behind. And so I've been using the Pomodoro technique, where you study for 25 minutes and then take a quick 5-minute break and then back to 25 minutes of studying. And I find that I can just bounce back and forth between doing Anki cards and practice questions and watching lectures. And that helps me get through the day without getting too distracted. And by bouncing around different subjects, I'm keeping things fresh and not getting bored by the content that I'm seeing throughout the day. I've also found that if I'm feeling unmotivated or starting to get distracted, it can really help to just get up and move. So between Pomodoro sessions, I'll use that 5 minutes to do some light stretching, just walk up and down to do some simple task like taking out the trash, do some stairs in the apartment, just get some blood moving. And then at last resort, I can just switch up where I'm studying. So even if it's just moving from the counter over there to our dinner table, or to my desk, or to the couch, just switching up the scenery and studying somewhere different can always help. All right, I am now headed to campus for our clinical medicine lab. We're going over some musculoskeletal testing for the lower extremity, mainly the hip, knee, and ankle. So we're gonna go to campus and do that, but I've had an extremely productive day. I took a little break over the lunch hour to take the dogs for a run out in the field. And then I spent about, we'll say 30, 45 minutes looking into some different physicians that I can contact about some research opportunities. So I've mentioned in a previous video that, you're gonna fill whatever time that you delegate to a task, and lately I've been procrastinating a lot because I tell myself that I have days to complete things, and then I just don't do them until it's crunch time. And then sometimes, like when it comes to studying for exams, I might not get through all of the material that I planned for, and then I won't get as good of a grade as I could on the exam. So to combat that, I'm making myself a little more busy looking for different volunteer opportunities, research opportunities, and things to help with applications in the future, but also just keep me busy doing things that I enjoy doing. So we're gonna head to campus, and then we can talk about some of those opportunities maybe later in the video or in a separate one. It's now Thursday, just about 2 p.m. I've moved over to this little tiny baby desk that we have in the corner of our living room, and I'm about to have a Zoom meeting with my ethics group where we are putting together a presentation for a clinical case that we were given and the ethical decision making that would go behind this case. So I'm gonna hop on this call. And then, the day has just been a lot of procrastinating, watching hockey videos on YouTube. And after this call, I'm gonna be watching the lectures from this morning and going through Anki cards per usual. Another thing is that it's medical school and it's tough, but you can't sacrifice your well-being. So like last night, I stayed up till about 11:30 watching a couple hockey games. So instead of waking up at 4:47 like I usually do, I went and slept till 6. So now I'm gonna get my day started and go watch a couple lectures, do my Anki as usual, but I'm not gonna sacrifice sleep because that's more important than getting in a couple more Anki sessions today. As you guys saw, all of my classmates got to see a rare sighting of me on campus. Had to go there. Every Friday we have a required OMM lecture, so I went to that. And then we had our physician profession small group where we get into little groups of like 14, even broke it down into partners of 2, groups of 4 today for our discussions, go through a couple different things. Now I'm back tonight. It's Friday, and we have a Friendsgiving planned with some of our friends that we've made at our apartment complex. So that starts in about 2 hours. So I'm gonna try and get through a couple more lectures for the day and just get as much done as I can, because I think that we're going to be drinking a lot of soda tonight, and I'm not sure that I'm gonna get anything else done. And there's hockey to be watched, so we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna get as much as I can done today, right now, and then we'll be prepared to have a full long day tomorrow and Sunday to get prepared for our exam coming up on Monday. So this is the last you're gonna hear from me today. You might see a clip of the party, but then I'm just gonna be studying 2 hours and then getting to the Friendsgiving before a long weekend of studying for the exam. It's now Sunday evening. It's 9:42, so we got about 10 hours until our test in the morning. I just took a shower, but I'm gonna continue studying. Usually I wouldn't study beyond like 9:30, 10 o'clock, but as I said in the beginning of the video, I was feeling a little fatigued, tired, just not motivated last week. So I'm still feeling like I'm kind of behind, and there's some content that I really wanna nail down before we take the test in the morning. So I'm gonna just continue studying all night. I don't know how long it's gonna go, and then take the test in the morning, and we'll update you before, let you know how it goes, and kind of give you my last tips for studying when you don't want to study. All right, so we are at school. It's test time, Monday morning. It's 7:15 right now. We get to go into the auditorium for the test at 7:30. To say that I'm confident would be a complete lie. As I said before, I was kind of behind on some material. I stayed up till about 12:30, woke up at 5:30. I got through all of the practice questions and stuff that I wanted to, but at the end of our last test block, I had a bunch of Anki cards that I didn't get to yet, and that kind of like pushed back getting through my Anki cards for this block. So there are a number of cards that I didn't actually get to, which last time I did the cards after the test and realized that if I would have done them beforehand, I would have saved like 5 points on the test. And now, again, I didn't get through them all, so I don't have the greatest confidence. I'm really feeling good about most of the material, but I've been overconfident on histology content because there's a few questions every test. I get them all right. This test is like all histology, and I'm really nervous about it, so wish me luck. All right, we're back home.
It's about 10:30. Got back like half an hour ago, and I've just been scrolling through some Instagram, hanging out with Mav. It did not go well. I was on track to have like the best exam that I've had all semester going into MCT. So for those that are new here, all of my exams are broken up. It's 100 points total, but they're broken up by subject based on how many lectures we had. So we have 6 different classes right now, and there were a bunch of exams that were like 10 to 15 questions. And then our molecules, cells, and tissue class has the most lectures. There were 50 questions on that one. So the first 5 exams, I was on track to have the best exam of the semester, and then get to the 51 questions of MCT. And I knew going in that it was going to be tough. Like, I just didn't feel confident with the content. And then going through the test, there were a lot of questions that I was flagging, and I was just like getting more and more not confident. And then I submitted it, and it went worse than I thought it was going to. So went from on track to have my best test to absolutely having my worst test. So we're just going to kind of kick it here. Planning to get lunch with Marin, but now I need to spend the rest of the day kind of catching up, because this content's coming back in 2 weeks when we have our finals. So that's kind of it. I'm going to kind of process things a little more, and then we'll kind of wrap up with how I study when I don't feel like studying, and how I'm planning to reapproach things for the next exam so that this doesn't happen again.
Okay, it's time to wrap up this video. I'm not happy with how the test went, but there's nothing I can do about it. Just got to move on and do better on the next one. It's so funny. I felt like I was being so productive this week, but then as I go through, I'm a serial procrastinator. I'm editing this video right before it gets posted. And if I would have edited it throughout the week, I would have realized how not productive I was being and how much procrastinating I was doing. But that's done as well. I can't do anything about it. So now I just need to follow my own advice. Maybe I'll watch this video after it's posted and work on these things and do better next week. Like I said earlier in the video, you're always going to fill whatever time you allot to a task, and that's part of my problem. Like, med school does take a lot of my time, but I do still have a decent amount of free time. I don't have to study as much as some of my peers do, and that just results in me procrastinating and not getting anything done. So I'm gonna use the next week of break to try and get involved in some more things, or at least line some things up for next semester, so that I don't continue running into that problem that I know that I have. It's a one thing to procrastinate and another to fall behind. And unfortunately, with being sick 2 weeks ago and just not really taking care of myself, I fell behind. And if that happens to you in med school, you're going to struggle. Now, luckily we have a Thanksgiving break coming up, and I'm gonna be able to catch up, and it won't affect me too much. But it's okay to push things off, a couple hours and do them later in the day. But once you start pushing them to tomorrow and the next day, that's when things really start to pile up and you start running into problems. Now, before we summarize all of my tips for studying when you don't want to study, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. As of yesterday, my Fanny Pack Medicine tribe is at 300 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Now, if you know anyone who struggles with procrastinating, who is a medical student, a pre-medical student, or really just anyone who you think might enjoy my content, please consider sharing this video with them. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. I'd love to see the tribe grow to 400 by the end of the year. So that's like 5 weeks from now. Let's see if we can get another 100 subscribers. Now, the tips for combating procrastination. First, you have to realize that you are procrastinating. What are you doing while you're watching my video? Did you just get home from work and you're decompressing from a long day? Are you making dinner like Marin is for me right now? Are you eating dinner? You could be watching my video while you do some work, but it's also okay if you're just watching it and relaxing. But go down in the comments, let me know, what are you doing while you watch my video? Once you realize that you are procrastinating, you just need to set that distraction aside. Maybe you need to change up your environment and just dedicate 5 minutes to doing a task. Once you do those 5 minutes, you'll probably be in a groove and be able to just continue working. If that doesn't work, maybe you need to commit a little bit more time. I find, as I mentioned earlier, that Pomodoro sessions where you do 25 minutes of work followed by a 5-minute break are super productive for me. So I can do 25 minutes of Anki cards and then take 5 minutes to take a walk around the house or scroll through Instagram if that's what I want to do. If you're still feeling unmotivated, maybe you just need to change up your environment. I find it's really helpful to change where I study throughout the day rather than being locked up in my office all day long. So I'll study in my office for a little while, at the dining table, at the counter, at the living room desk, and changing it up seems to help me. Another thing you can do is get moving. I always find that using my breaks from studying to get in a workout, do some light stretching, even if it's just a 5-minute break, I'll do a set of push-ups and just get some blood moving, and usually I'm able to focus better during my next study session. And the last tip I have is that you have to take care of yourself. Part of the reason that I did so poorly on this exam and procrastinated all week was because I wasn't really taking care of myself the past couple weeks when I wasn't filming videos. I wasn't sleeping well. I wasn't getting workouts in on a regular basis. I was skipping meals a lot, and I felt like I was creating more time to study. And then I realized that the time that I was studying, I wasn't focused at all. And I just ended up pushing things back farther and farther. And I fell behind and I paid the price for it. Now that I've realized kind of what I'm doing and what things that I can try to do to make it better, I'm going to try and use the next week to recuperate, catch up, get remotivated, and then finish the semester strong and end on a high note. Once again, thank you all for subscribing. Go down there and subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks for coming, and we'll catch you in the next one.